Hi, Internet. Welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel. It is Thin Lizzy Thursday. And man, you know what? Last week was a fun surprise. A very competent, well done Blackstar Rider song, but not just like competent, well done as in like, oh, they played it well, but like it was so good that I enjoyed it. I don't know how you guys felt about it because I'm recording these in advance. So this month is a little bit busy for me in that I am transitioning out of my second job, but still working that second job. Got some overtime hours at the main job. Started releasing Radiant Epic, which please read. It's great. Thank you. Um, so like doing all that plus my wife's birthday just made the month a very busy month. This is a busy month, a lot of changes, a lot of moving parts, and therefore Thin Lizzy Thursdays are being recorded in advance when I have the time because so much going on this month that it's going to be hard to keep everything straight. As far as the new Radiant Epic, the chapter is out. But I don't know which chapter is out, what's happening in the story, because it is told from the perspective of three different main characters. And so, one week you'll have a Tice chapter, one week you'll have a Lyra chapter, and one week you'll have a Genian chapter. And so, the idea is that you get these different characters and seeing things from their perspective. Like as I'm recording this in advance, I don't know which character is getting a chapter this week, but whatever one ends up coming this week is great. Go read it. Links in the description. But you're not here for Radiant Epic. You are here for Thin Lizzy Thursday, and whatever song this is it a Thin Lizzy song? Is it Blackstar Riders? I don't know. Random number generator. Tell us what we're getting this week. Okay, the random number generator decided that they want to destroy my YouTube channel and end my view count with another Blackstar Rider song. Geez. Whatever. This is proof that it's not rigged because if I decided to rig the random number generator, I wouldn't do two Blackstar Rider songs in a row. That's gonna be so bad for the channel and the algorithm. But integrity of just doing the songs that actually come up. This is Underneath the Afterglow by Blackstar Riders off Another State of Grace, their most recent album. Um, I don't know the song. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's terrible. I don't know if it's just okay, which has been the general level of most Blackstar Rider songs is that it's like it's fine. And apathy is really the worst way to feel about art. Like if you really like hate something, like viscerally, like that upsets me, you have an opinion on it. Like me, like I really don't like Scarface, or Taxi Driver. But you know what? Like at least like I feel something about them. It's not just like the Nutty Professor, where I'm like, it's fine, I guess. It's a little bit dated. A lot of it doesn't hold up so well. I don't really want to watch it. Um, but yeah, so as far as this song, I don't know it. Haven't heard it before. It's a first time reaction, which is what you're supposed to do on YouTube, is react to things you haven't heard. But also you're supposed to react to popular things. Um, this song, 10,000 views on the official Blackstar Riders channel, so not necessarily a huge song. Um, Blackstar Riders does have some really great songs that, when we get to them, I will rank reasonably high. I don't know if this is going to be one of them, but hey, last week was a very good song, so let's see how this goes. So let's check out Underneath the Afterglow. All right, so starting off, I like the riff. I think it's a very good riff. I like the rock organ. That's nice. I don't know if the cowbell really fits here. I think that's like a little bit too much going on to have the cowbell. But also, as a lover of cowbell who has put in cowbell in places where like it doesn't necessarily fit, and you're just doing it because you love cowbell, man, I get it. But that I think with all that going on, you don't. I think the cowbell is sort of best when you don't have as much musically going on and you can like really savor the cowbell. Might be a little bit too much going on for cowbell there. But thus far I'm enjoying it. Am I trying too hard to be positive, or am I sincerely enjoying it? I'm gonna go with sincerely enjoying. So yeah, let's rewind just a hair, get back to it. You say we're finished, but I'm only getting started. I've been denied to join the broken hearted. Free state of mind is only temporary. The rich are getting rich while the poor are getting ready. Do you remember? Do you remember? Back in the day when everything was better. Do you remember? Do you remember? As I recall, it wasn't nothing special. Hate's a four-letter word. Love's a four-letter lie. I'm just letting you know I'm doing alright underneath the afterglow. Okay, so um, a lot of things here. So during the verse, I think the melody is actually pretty good, but I think it's a little bit repetitive. And with the chord choices, you're really expecting like a little bit more variety in the verse as we get to the um, the second half of the verse. So it did feel like a little bit awkward melody wise, but also I've done very repetitive verse melodies, so I just need to write better melodies too. So just as a note that like I am aware of my imperfections as a musician. So as I'm critiquing others, does not mean that like, oh, who is this guy? He sucks. How is he? How dare he critique others? Like, man, we all have flaws. But I would say in general, I definitely like the melody. Um, I think the pre-chorus was stronger lyrically than maybe it was melodically, but I definitely like the concept of it. And then the chorus was it was kind of okay. I mean, when I'm looking at the lyrics here and I saw that there was some whoa ohs, I was really excited because like, oh man, whoa ohs, those should be catchy, and it was fine. But it wasn't particularly spectacular. But it was, I'd say the verse melody is the strongest. Well, no, the riff is the strongest part of the song. Then the verse melody. Then maybe the pre-chorus lyrics, and then like the chorus itself. So actually, it's like a gradual decline in terms of the strength of the different parts. But also, I just might need to get used to them. So let's take a look at these lyrics. You say we're finished, but I'm only getting started. I've been denied to join the brokenhearted. That's actually a pretty interesting line. Being denied being able to join the brokenhearted. That's kind of interesting. A free state of mind is only temporary. The rich are getting rich while the poor are getting ready. I mean, yeah, this is actually pretty legit social commentary. What year is this from? 2019. Yeah, this is like super legit commentary. Like post post Trump election, pre Biden election. Um, yeah, this is very very like legitimate social commentary. As like the like we are kind of headed to a bad place society wise, where the like income inequalities, like we're back in the gilded age. Like we are we're just back there, except we have smartphones, so like it doesn't seem as bad, but like we're there. The disparity between rich and poor, monopolies, oligarchical control of society, like we're back there. It's just unfortunately like that's just where we are. And those are the conditions that led to socialist revolutions. And as someone who does not want a bloody, violent revolution, I would prefer that not to happen. I would just like if corporations would be like, hey, just so the workers don't revolt and overthrow the government, maybe we should just like pay them more so that doesn't happen. I'd prefer that scenario as opposed to the workers being like, no, we're just going to overthrow society. Like that's my preference. Like pay workers a couple bucks more an hour so they don't overthrow society. That's my preference. Corporations, you do what you want. But that's what I would recommend doing. Um, anyway, so then we get to the pre-chorus. Do you remember? Do you remember back in the day when everything was better? Do you remember? Do you remember? As I recall, it was nothing special. And that's actually pretty poignant because there's always this talk about like nostalgia and how things were better back in the day. But that's not necessarily like completely true. It's just society changes. Things being better back in the day. Like in some ways things were better, but in some ways like it was just um how do I put it? It's like the problems were still there. It's just like they've been compounding over time. So like things weren't necessarily that much better in like let's say you know 2000 than it is in 2021. It's just like the problems are just compounding. Um, and so to say like it wasn't necessarily special back in the day, like it wasn't so much better back in the day, like there's I think there's a lot of validity to that. I think that's actually very poignant and not often something that like is done with an older writer. Like usually the older you get, the more fondly you look upon the past. But the fact like you can look at the past and say, you know what, like things weren't that great. There were a lot of problems. Um, Actually shows like a lot of maturity and self-awareness, which I think is really intelligent. And then the course hates a four-letter word, loves a four-letter lie. Uh, that's very clever. As I read that out loud, I'm just letting you know I'm doing all right underneath the afterglow, which I'm still not sure exactly what that means. Underneath the afterglow, is that saying that's like, uh, you know, as trying to think of how to word this, as we've seen the effects of the different societal changes. Like I'm doing the best I can. Like I'm still alive, largely functioning. Doing all right isn't like the like super positive. All right, it's like yeah, I'm all right. I'm still here. I'm alive. Um, so underneath the afterglow of like the 90s economic boom where we thought everything was great and then just like things just crashed so hard. um and so like the afterglow of like this overwhelming optimism that has since dissipated. Doing all right underneath the afterglow of that optimism that is slowly fading and that light diminishing. Yeah, I'm generally approving of this song. Good stuff. Let's rewind a hair, get back to it. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to rewind just a hair, but I think it would have been better if during the second half of the verse, I think he went down. I think just keeping that same like melody gets pretty repetitive there. I think he could have gone down. I think especially with that chord choice because like the chord progression that they're doing is like building tension, and I think if you're just staying at that same like note, I think it's a little bit repetitive for this particular chord progression. So there's not to say that you can't do a repetitive melody well. I think there's actually a really good place to do that. Like there are some songs where like you're just hitting that high note over and over again, but the chord progression like really like benefits that. I don't think it's necessarily working as well here, but I think like the base of the melody is good. I think it could have just used someone to say, "Hey, go lower on the second half." I think that would have offered more. I think it would just made it more interesting overall and more. It's sometimes you can change a melody line too much and it becomes less catchy. I think if you change it, it actually becomes catchier in this case.
On the record on now, you did your party. I saw the light when it started getting heavy. You tried to shake it up instead of going steady. Do you remember? Do you remember? Back in the day when everything was better. Do you remember? Do you remember? As I recall, it wasn't nothing special. Hate's a four-letter word. Love's a four-letter lie. I'm just letting you know I'm doing alright underneath the afterglow. For your information, just so you
Yeah. Before we get into this next section, I dug that solo. It was Robbo esque. Yeah, I liked it a lot, and it looks like we're getting into a bridge here. I'm gonna rewind just to here, but I'm enjoying like I've been really been liking the rhythm section on this track. I think it's been really great.
For your information, just so you know, I quit the rescue business long time ago. Who was gonna help you when you're out of need? Are you gonna stand there and let it bleed?
Yeah, that was great melodically. Perfect build, starting off low and then getting high. That worked really well with the arrangement of the piece. As I was listening to this, again, I think the issue I have with the melody during the verses is that the chord progression is actually changing while the melody isn't, and I think that's what's making that awkward and why it should, I think, go lower. But here, I think this bridge was pretty perfectly done. For your information, just so you know, I quit the rescue business a long time ago. Who's going to help you in your hour of need? Are you going to stand there and let it bleed? Um, so yeah, that's pretty interesting. As I'm trying to look at this, like in the context of the entire piece, what that exactly means. Um, I quit the rescue business a long time ago. So basically, this is like, saying maybe this is like the story of like an optimistic person who's now like, look, I can't help you. I can barely help myself. Where everyone sort of has to just like fend for themselves in this harsh society and harsh world in which we live. Who's going to help you in your hour of need? Are you going to stand there and let it bleed? So, like, maybe you need to help yourself. Um, because like that's the best you can do in this Mad Max libertarian dystopia that we're heading towards. Yeah, I'm definitely approving of this. Lyrically, musically, overall, yeah, cool.
Stand there and let it bleed. Do you remember? Do you remember?
Loving the drums here.
Back in the day when everything was better. Do you remember? Do you remember? As I recall, you're really nothing special. Hate's a four-letter word. Love's a four-letter lie. I'm just letting you know I'm doing alright underneath the afterglow. Hate's a four-letter word. Love's a four-letter lie. I'm just letting you know I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright.
You know what? Yeah, that got a thumbs up from me from my YouTube channel. I gave that the 119th like on this video. Um, yeah, I was honestly not expecting much from this one. Um, in the sense that like if it's a Black Star Rider song that like wasn't pushed as a single, I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be one of those like generic filler tracks and might have like fake deep lyrics with what I was kind of expecting, but no, this is good. This is good. I will stand up for this song. I think this was a very pleasant surprise, and that's why I'm glad I'm doing all the Black Star Rider songs because I knew there'd be some gems in there. This is cool. It's got a good riff, good lyrics, um, good melodic builds in a lot of places, like great playing. There are flaws with it. It's not perfect. It's not a masterpiece, but it is very good. And so, yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. And despite my minor gripes with it, I would say I was still very satisfied with this overall. So yeah, cool stuff. Now comes the tricky part as to ranking underneath the Afterglow. Um, yeah, so I think it actually is stronger than Dancing with the Wrong Girl. Maybe that's the bias of just having heard it. Um, all right, so yeah, I will say it's better than I Don't Want to Forget How to Jive. So, but is it better than Solo and Soho? Solo and Soho is actually pretty strong. Maybe needs to be ranked higher, but it's definitely not. Yeah, I'll put it there for now. So it doesn't rank significantly higher than the other Blaster Rider song we just did. Um, Solo and Soho just seems to be like a hard barrier for a Bladstar Rider song to rise above. Um, but yeah, I was thoroughly satisfied with this one. I would say I was very happy with it. So even though it's gonna screw me in the algorithm, I liked it. I liked it. I'm happy that we got this one. So definitely curious as to your comments on this. So let me know in the comments below. Comment in the comment section. You know how that works. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please, if you like to support Greg, check out Radiant Epic. And if you think it sucks, let me know. Brutalize me. But I like it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stick around for Thin Lizzy Thursday. Bye, everyone.